I could be a rock star, soaring super high, aiming for the sky.
I started school in the western suburbs of Sydney, out in Dundas, and I think I was doing backyard concerts for the neighbours and my family with my ukulele from a young age. So I'm pretty sure I was singing in the choir there, but then whisked off in year one, I think, to Mexico, where my father was working as an engineer, and so we packed up. I've got a younger brother, he's 6 years younger than me, and so we packed up and moved over there. So I did correspondence for 3 years, and it was amazing because we were completely isolated with no television and radio, really.
It starts right now, it starts right. Here's a chance to show the world.
Being isolated, my brother and I would make instruments. So a stick could be a sword, or a guitar or a microphone stand. And then I came back and finished primary school in the country where my grandparents live up in the northern New South Wales. And it was a bit didn't really have a gentle landing, but then started high school in Chatswood in Sydney. And I think within a few days, I discovered the music department was underneath the art department. So for 6 years, I sort of trekked a pretty consistent trail between those two rooms. And that was it. And my high school music teacher, Gavin Staines, who's still there. In fact, I had a photo with him yesterday because I'm doing a concert in a couple of weeks in that area. And so I went to the school and had a photo with him, and he's still there, and such a dedicated man. So he really helped me a lot to adjust to being home, I guess, and then back a part of school life because of having interacted with kids that much. So, and that was it. And I started private singing lessons. I'm outside of school, but was in the choir and had rock bands, and when I'd get kicked out of class, I'd go and get the key to the hall off him and go and practice the piano. So it was amazing. It was an amazing time. In the time that I was there in those 6 years, he'd bring international artists to concerts at that school. So he was really involved in inspiring the students and also creating events for everyone too. So, and I think one of the biggest moments in that for me, which then propelled me onto other things, which is always great, a beautiful accident maybe, was he booked James Morrison to come and play with his big band. Now, I'd been listening to big band music for a long time and loved it, but never seen a big band play live. So there's James and his big band come out on stage. I'm like 14, and that was it. I was hooked. So the next day I went down to the music department and said to him, I want to write some charts, I want to sing, let's get a big band together, So over the next few years, that's what we did. And then in 1989 was my last year at school, and we decided that we'd go to America and do a little tour down California and play in this big band, play in Disneyland and high schools around. So we sold a lot of Lemingtons that year. We made them as well, and sold a lot of Lemingtons and chocolates, as you do, and he took us to America.
I can see the future, a story that is mine. I'm writing every line.
It was a great time for me. I was singing a lot, and they did musicals at the school, so I was a part of those. But it was everything orbited around music for me my whole life. But definitely having the music department, it's just so important.
Change the world.
I mean, Huxley said that after silence, the thing that comes closest to expressing the inexpressible is music. So at a time when they might find it difficult to express themselves on various levels, when they've got an instrument in their hands, or they're given the opportunity to sing, they're being able to connect to parts within them that they can freely express themselves, which I think is just really important for their development at all ages. But I also think with children, if things are around, and because they're so inquisitive and so free naturally, that they'll pick things up. And not only when they pick them up, they'll pick things up as well. So I think it's important, definitely. Piano, a piano anywhere is great. I've got a 4-year-old and a 2-year-old, and they're allowed to play all the instruments in the house, and they are, and it's really beautiful. So there's if life is a meal, one of the big ingredients I think is music, and without it, I think that you potentially may live maybe a bit of a bland life on this planet. So my feeling is that the sooner that children are involved with music and learning about the vast universe that it is, I think the better for them and for our planet.